Hello learners, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sagar.Utekar and this is solution video for our Day 2 challenge from the season 1. I still remember that day when I shared the Day 2 challenge and I was getting a lot of messages and the call from the learners saying that what is the level of difficulty we have set for the Day 2 challenge and what they can expect in the next upcoming challenge. The reaction was, very obvious. The challenge was set by me, and it is not going to be very easy. It is going to be very full of learning, and that is what they got. So one is concluded, and now we are focusing on creating solution videos for the season 1 challenges. The reason being, when my students or the learners asked me to provide the challenges, the ask was very simple from them that they need something very quality. They need something real world production grade challenges, which will help them not only to upskill that those challenges or the projects, many projects they can add into the resumes, and that will also help them to clear the interviews. Because scenario-based questions um, will be covered in this entire challenge series. That was their expectation. And mission accomplished. We completed season 1. We provided 50 amazing challenges which had um, Linux, networking, Kubernetes, Argo, monitoring, Jenkins, Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker, and whatnot. We covered everything required for the DevOps SRE engineers. And yeah, so amazing response, amazing experience with the season 1. Then why we are creating solution videos now? Because many of learners found it difficult. The level of difficulty we set during a season 1 is to the next level. Considering they were expecting the challenges, real world challenges, and something to put on the resumes, we provided the challenges based on that consideration. Okay, to help them, to guide them, and for those people who solve the challenges but still need validation and looking for something more to learn from our videos, we are creating this solution video series. Okay, those are things I wanted to cover. And there was one more question which was coming again and again from the learners who recently joined and was not part of our season 1 journey. They are asking whether they can solve these season 1 challenges now or not. So, brother, sister, this uh, series and the initiative is completely free. Please always remember that. And this freely available on our Google Groups. And we are going to upload all the challenges on the GitHub as well and the solutions on the GitHub as well. So you can solve that anytime. Doesn't matter from where you are. The only thing matters is that you are interested in solving the challenges. I just wanted to make clear after providing the solution videos for the new people, new learners, and as well as who were looking for the solution videos. Follow this pattern, particular pattern, always, everything. That is how you will learn the things in better way. When you watch the video, don't try to solve the challenge side by side. I'm not creating solution videos for you to solve the challenges side by side. Remember that. Watch the video. If you not understood any concept, watch it again. If you still need help, we have our community groups. Discord is there, and you can always put your queries in the comment of that particular video and ask your question. But don't do that stupid mistake of solving, thinking of that you are learning something by doing the activities simultaneously. I want you to completely focus on the video. Try to grasp everything you can from the solution video. Once you understand most of the things, then go ahead and try to solve the challenges at the end. Because what matters is that learning, not solving the challenges completely or fully. If you even understood the concept, that is also fine. because in the interviews, when you will go, you won't find the exact problem statement in the interviews. But if you have the good understanding of the data structures, how to write functions, how to call the functions, and what are the different things you can perform on the data structures or the file or the JSON, then you can think of some approach and at least you will be able to provide the algorithm to the interviewer. That is enough, I guess. As a DevOps SRE engineer, that is what interviewer expects from you. So make sure you understand the concept first and then go for the solution. Okay, um, let's get started without ado. As I told, this is our Google group where we have documented all our season 1 challenges and we are also uploading season 2 challenges here only. So you can join the Google group and check out the challenges. Okay, so this is what we are going to solve today. The day 2 challenge from the season 1 was advanced S3 bucket metadata manipulation. In this particular challenge, we are going to perform the operations on the JSON using Python scripting. There are few subtasks provided in the challenge. We will talk about that. But first, let's try to understand why the challenge is important. And are we going to do something similar in the project or production system? May not be, but this thing will help you to solve the similar kind of problems. Let's assume that you are working with GitHub API, you are working with Kubernetes API, or Docker, or Jenkins APIs. You called the API, you got the response in the JSON format. That is where this thing is going to help you to perform the operations on the JSON data, how to store the details in a file and then take out only required details from that response, JSON response. Okay, so that is the simulation we are trying to do here by S3 bucket manipulation. The challenge is also available on our GitHub repository. Okay, so you can come here or you can check out that in the Discord. The subtasks are very simple. The first subtask is um, you will be provided with a JSON file and you need to print the summary of each bucket. For each bucket, you need to print the name, the region, the size, and the versioning status of that bucket. The second subtask is that you need to identify the larger buckets, which means if the bucket size is more than 80 GB, then you need to identify those. And also you need to identify those buckets are not used for more than 90 plus days. Okay. The third task is you need to generate a cost report for this bucket, whatever the file you have been provided with a bucket.json that you need to get and then find out the buckets cost and group them by the region and the department of that bucket. The final and most important subtask is that provide the final list of buckets to delete and find the buckets to for the cleanup operations and the deletion operation. So if bucket size is more than 50 GB, then you can recommend that bucket for the cleanup operation. And if the bucket size is more than 100 GB and not access for last 20 days, then you can recommend that for the deletion. Okay, so that is a challenge, overall challenge we are going to perform. I have already provided the solution here, bucket ops.py, then you can check that. But this in this solution video, I'm going to walk you through what we have done and going to explain every line we have in this Python file. Okay, so what we are going to do is that this is a bucket.json. While solving the challenge, you need to download this bucket.json, which has the which is a dictionary of list, bucket list, and every list object have dictionary with bucket details, the bucket name, the bucket region, when it was created, when it was last time accessed, the tags. The tags have the information of the environment and teams. Okay, and it also have the policies details as well as it also have the versioning details and the bucket size. So that is what we need for each bucket. So you will find that we have multiple such bucket information and we need to perform the operation on all these buckets. Find the name, find the region, find the size of bucket, find whether versioning is enabled for that bucket or not, when was it last time accessed, and perform the deletion and the archival operation. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simply copy these two bucket details and use that in our bucket.py to explain it to you. So you shouldn't do this. I'm just copying it so that I can explain it. Okay, so this is the main bucket dictionary which we have been provided. This is the main dictionary and it have the list of buckets and the list have multiple dictionary object. In every dictionary object, you will find out that consists of particular bucket name, the bucket details with the name, region, the policies, versioning, size in the GBs and everything. Okay, so let's start the operation. So you will see here at the end of this file, I have written something as if condition, if name is equal to main, then call the main function. So this is the entry point for our, sorry. So this is the entry point for our buckets ops.py file. Okay, so it is going to call the main function. Let's say where is the main function. Here is the main function. And this is the function which is going to be called when we run this or execute this file. What we have written in this main function, I'll explain how to create a function, but let's try to understand what we have written in this main function. So we are loading the JSON file, then we are calling different functions written for 4 different tasks, which is nothing but generating a bucket summary, and then we have second and third task to generate the cost report by grouping them by region and the team, and then the third task was to identify the unused buckets, and the fourth task was to identify the buckets for the deletion and the archival. Okay, so this is the main function, and inside the main function we are calling our functions which we have created for 4 different subtasks. How to write a function? Very simple. You need to use a def keyword and write a function name and the braces. This is a Python syntax for creating a function. Okay, and after colon, you need to write the code which should be executed when after calling that function. Okay, so if you only write these, the function, it is not going to perform anything. You need to call the function. So how to call the function? You need to call the function using function name and provide the parameters to that function. because we don't need any parameters to call the main function. We are not writing anything. Okay, so this is a main function call and this is a main function definition. I hope that is clear. The main function definition and this is a function call. Let's talk about every line we have written in the main function. What we are doing. If you see, this is the same format. We are calling another function. The name of the function is load buckets. And inside the bracket, we are passing some parameters to function call. What we are passing buckets.json. That is nothing but a file which has all the details of the buckets. Okay, let's check out this function load buckets. Where is the definition? So here is a loads bucket definition available. Similar format to create or define the function, we use the def keyword, the function name, and pass the parameters. So what this function is expecting, this function is expecting the file path and the data type is the string. And what this function will return, it is going to return a dictionary. It is going to return a dictionary of the buckets. Simple thing, what we are doing, we are reading this buckets.json file in the read mode and loading that file. Once that file is loaded as a JSON object, we are returning that to the line where this function got called. So where this function got called, the function got called at line number 140. Okay, this function is going to return a dictionary, entire dictionary which is there in this buckets.json. Are we interested in that? No. What we want is that out of this dictionary, we only want the buckets key or whatever is there along with these buckets, we only want that. And for that, we are using the subscription method of the dictionary. So this entire line is going to return the the list. Okay, this list it is going to return. And what we are doing, we are storing the whatever is written as a list inside one variable called buckets. That is what we are going to pass to different subtask function. What is a subtask? If you remember, the first subtask is to generate the bucket summary. So we for that we have created another function generate bucket summary, and that function we are calling at the line number 143. That function call expects the bucket list. That is what we are passing. Let's check out the definition of this generate bucket summary function call. Okay, so here is the definition for the generate bucket summary, which is expecting the list of dictionary. So this is the parameter it is expecting, and it is not going to return anything. So that's why we have written none. And you will see here that we are putting proper comments explaining that what is this function is going to do. And once we are using a for loop here to iterate over the buckets list. So this main buckets is the list, and to iterate over that list we are using for loop. Okay, again this is a main list and we are iterating over each item in the list. You will see here the curly braces represent the dictionary and the square brackets represent the list. Okay, a list you can compare with other programming language as an array, and dictionary is nothing but a key value pair. So I'll open one of the dictionary in the list, which is this. So you will find there is a key, there is a value, there is a key, there is a value. So what we are asking in this for loop is that iterate over this list and store every object in the buckets variable. This is a temporary variable we are going to use in the for loop. So this temporary bucket variable is going to have the dictionary. I hope by now you would have understood how to get particular value from the dictionary. How to do that? Bucket, dictionary name, and in square brackets, you need to provide the key name. Similarly, what we did when we got the entire dictionary object. Okay, so let's come back here. What we are doing, this is a one of the dictionary object, and from this dictionary object, we are only interested in name, region, size in GB, and the versioning is enabled or not. So those are the details we are printing for each bucket. That is our first subtask. Print the bucket name, print the region, print the size in GB, and print the versioning is enabled or not. Okay, let me close this. Let's go back to our main function and check out the second and the third subtask. We are going to keep it very simple. Again, we are creating another function, generate cost reports. What is written in this function definition is that it is expecting list of dictionary and it is going to return the tuple. Okay, and in the tuple you can have multiple dictionaries. Again, what we are doing, we are iterating over the buckets list, and temporary variable bucket is going to have dictionary. For each dictionary object, we are only interested in size, region, and the team. So in this function, um, in this particular generate cost report function, what we are going to do is that we are going to find the cost region wise and the team wise. For that, we are calculating, we have another function called calculate cost. Okay, this function is going to return the cost of the bucket based on the size. I'll explain that later, but let's check out what thing we are doing here. So for every region, we are going to store that as a element in the dictionary. So these are the two temporary dictionaries we have created, region cost and the team cost. And for every region, we are going to check out the cost of the bucket. Okay, so that is what we are doing. And for every team, we are calculating the cost of each bucket. So this particular thing will only um, get the cost of the bucket for that particular region and for the particular team. So let's check out what is the calculate cost function. What it does do, it it is very simple operation. It is calculating the cost of the bucket based on um, whether the bucket type is standard or the glacier bucket. We have used the constants to set the pricing for the standard and the glacier bucket type, and that is what we are doing. Whatever the size provided to this uh, size of the bucket, we are just multiplying that with the cost per GB. That is nothing but for the standard, it is going to calculate, uh, it is going to multiply with the 0.023, and for the glacier type bucket, it is going to multiply that with a 0.004. Very simple. That is what the second subtask was, to find out the generate the cost report based on the region and the team. Okay, then we are simply um, printing all those details region wise and the team wise details using for loop. Okay, then the next subtask, the third subtask was to identify the unused buckets. This is the function. The definition, if you remember, for identifying the unused buckets, if we go back to our challenge, was yeah, if the bucket is larger than 80 GB and is not used for 90 plus days, then we need to uh, consider that bucket as unused bucket. Okay, and that can help us to save some cost. Okay, similar thing, we are using a for loop, and for each bucket, we are only interested in the bucket size and when the bucket was last time accessed. Okay, so if the bucket size is more than 80 GB and the bucket last time bucket access was more than 90 days, then we are going to put that into unused buckets. Okay, there is one more additional function we have written here is that identify the bucket when it was last time accessed. How we are doing that? This is a function definition for days since last access. What it is expecting? It is expecting the bucket last time access date, and we are going to return the number of days for this function. Okay. It is using um, datetime module for calculating the number of days since the bucket was last time accessed, and it is going to return that. So it is very simple calculation. It is checking the current date time and when was the bucket last time accessed. So simple date time calculation, and it is going to return us how many days it has been when bucket was last time accessed and how to import those models. You can use so we can use the import statement or the from statement to import the particular modules, Python modules. That is what we are doing, and this is something which you need to define at the top of your file. Okay, that is the third subtask, and last subtask was identifying the buckets for the deletion and the archival. Let's go back to the function, identify buckets for the actions. I guess the operation is very simple. This is a function definition which expect the list of dictionaries, and it is going to return the tuple with list of strings and the two list of strings. Okay. So what we are doing here, we are again iterating over the buckets list, which have the dictionary, and we are interested in finding out the bucket size and when it was last time accessed. Okay. And if you remember, the ask was if bucket size was more than 50 GB, then we can recommend that bucket for the cleanup operation. And if the bucket size is more than 100 GB and it not it is not accessed from last 20 days, then we can put that into deletion. So it is simple if condition. If the bucket size is 100 GB and it is again calling our previous function days since last access. If it is unused for more than 20 days, then we are going to put that into deletion queue. If the bucket is not accessed for more than 90 days, then we are going to put that into archival candidates. Just make sure this is what I think we are following this thing, not this thing. Okay, sorry. So we are just finding the deletion queue and the archival queue, and that is what we are returning from this function. Okay, and then we are using again for loop to iterate over the list of deletion queue and the archival candidates. Perfect. Then the final thing is calculating the potential savings. So what we are doing here is that calculate the potential savings by moving buckets to the glacier. Okay, so what we are doing here is that again we are iterating over the main buckets list and the archival candidates. The archival candidates here we found out that if bucket is not used for last 90 days, then we are calculating how much cost we are going to save by moving those buckets to the archival. That is what we are doing. Calculate the cost for that bucket which has been moved to the archive. Okay, and then just simply uh, calculate the total. That is what was expectation from this day 2 challenge. I know this was a very long challenge, and that is why people were interested in knowing the level of difficulties and everything. So please watch this video again, and I'm sure this will give you more clarity what is expected and how to solve this challenge. You can use the list dictionary and tuples, and now you know how to call the functions. What is the function definitions? What are function parameters, function calls, and how to return some values from the function? What are um, for loops, if conditions, how to iterate over dictionaries, how to iterate over list, and everything. Okay, yes, so that is what I wanted to cover in this video. I hope it will give you some idea to solve the challenge and more strength and the confidence for solving the challenges during your interviews using Python language. Now you know the list, dictionary, tuple, for loop, how to iterate the for loop, how to how to iterate the list using for loops, and how to iterate dictionaries using for loops, how to access particular element from the list, how to access particular element from the dictionaries, how to update the dictionaries, how to update the list and everything. Still, if you need a detailed video on Python from scratch to advanced, everything required for the DevOps or SRE engineer, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to make it available. Now the now the video solution video is available, solution is available on our GitHub repositories, and everything is available and covered in the solution videos. Please remember, don't try to solve the challenge side by side. Make sure you watch the video, rewatch it. If you are not understanding the concept, ask for the help, but don't do the same mistake by solving the challenge side by side. Okay, that is what I wanted to cover. Let's see you again in the next video. Um, till then, keep learning, keep sharing, and keep supporting me as well, like how I'm doing it for you. So like, share, subscribe, and share the news about the season 1 and season 2 challenges. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, see you.